Gen X is plotting a silent takeover. So we're looking around right now as things continue to spiral out of control. And this is an interesting point I came across from a Gen Xer, of course, which is that in 2028, Gen X for the first time will be estimated to outnumber the baby boomers. This is a massive implication on society because the only other generation that votes anywhere close to the levels at which the boomers vote is Gen X. Gen X is also the most competent generation in terms of skill sets. It's a very interesting reality right now that Gen X's time to shine is about to arrive. Now, granted, things could always change, and with new drugs on the horizon, for example, China just cured diabetes, and Ozempic is resulting in people losing significant amounts of weight and significantly reducing the risk of heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. And if you recall, heart disease is the number one reason why people pass away worldwide, especially in the United States. So it does seem like there are some changes on the horizon. Regardless, Gen, the boomers, they're not going to be here forever. It feels like that sometimes, but they're not going to be here forever. And we can see right now that there's a lot of collective thinking among Gen X, kind of like, even individual, but collectively, like, we could really take this thing. By the way, guys, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new to the Angry Guy channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members for the channel do get new videos early. If you'd like to learn more about that, click the join button down below this video. So I was checking out some videos from Gen Xers, and Gen Xers are really starting to like step out and like let everyone know, like, yeah, we the best. We the best, right? We're going to jump into some of these videos. One video is from Eliza Philby. And while I don't agree with everything she says, it's just very interesting, some of the things that she's saying. Let's go ahead and jump into her video, and I will link you to her channel so you can watch the original video on her channel as well.
5 reasons as to why Gen X are the most important generation. Number 1, they are the first tech generation. They were the Sony Walkman kids who became the Crackberry adults. Number 2, Gen X women were the first generation of women to outnumber men at university. Number 3, right now, Gen X are the squeeze generation, not only looking after their kids, but also their elderly parents. Number 4, they were known as the latchkey kids with a carefree youth in the 1970s, but became the helicopter parents of the 90s and noughties. Number 5, they will eventually outnumber baby boomers by 2028. But Gen X, your time is coming.
Now, guys, that's very serious. Those are major implications. 2028. That's not far from now, y'all. All right? That's not far from now at all. If you guys don't remember, we're halfway through 2024. Okay, we're almost in 2028. 2025, but 2028 will be here in no time. No time at all. And that's a major implication. We are almost in 2025. That's 3 years from 2028. 3 years, bro. And you have to consider that means that a lot of boomers between now and 2028 are going to pass away. A considerable amount of boomers are estimated to pass away in the coming years. That's the only way that Gen X would be able to outnumber the boomers, because no more Gen Xers are being born. Simply put, boomers are passing away. Now, we have another video, and this video comes from yet another Gen Xer, and it kind of illustrates the way that Gen X was raised and brought up. And this is the reason why Gen X is so much tougher and has the skill sets to weather the storm and to even thrive in all of the chaos. This video comes from Kim Brooks. I'm going to link her channel in the description, and her video is titled, "You're Probably Not Gen X If." We'll go ahead and jump right into this.
I'm Kim, Gen X 1971. Got the call, understood the assignment, and I made my first real TikTok video just a few days ago. And you guys have been so kind. All the likes, new followers, and even the comments have just been amazing. In fact, every single comment but one have been positive and supportive. And even for that one, he really just said, no, old. And well, I can't be too mad about that because he's right. Anyway, hopefully I've liked all of your comments. I followed back everyone who wasn't private up to today. And for those from today, I will get there. I promise, just trying not to end up in TikTok jail. But I want to talk about something for just a second that I've noticed, and I want to see if you've noticed it too and what you think about it. I've seen so many people not really in the Gen X years say that they identify as Gen X now that this trend has kind of hit it big. And on one hand, I think that's cool. I mean, many of the Gen Z and even millennials we see out there today were raised by Gen X. And so that makes sense, I suppose. And then there are, of course, the boomers who raised most of us Gen X. So that makes sense in some cases too. And for those who posted on my video that they are Gen X like, well, I went and I looked at your profiles and I believe you and thank you. However, I've also gone and looked at those posting this comment on some other posts out there, and well, I'm just not so sure. See, if we look at your profile, there are a few telltale signs that say you're not really being totally honest about identifying as Gen X. I mean, you might not really be like Gen X if you constantly play the victim in every single one of or all of or most of your posts. If you're afraid or scared of everything, if you talk constantly in hashtags or write in emojis, mostly, you're probably not like Gen X. Or if you say yeet unironically or based or bet or anything like that a lot of the time, or you get offended by everything you hear or see written that's not just said or directed toward you, but to anyone, anywhere, might not be like Gen X. Or if you expect instant responses to every message or comment, or you spend more time filming concerts than enjoying them, might not be like Gen X. Or if you think it's normal to have more friends you've never seen in person than those that you've met in real life, or you don't have your own unique opinion about anything so that we can't tell really who you are or what you believe, might not be like Gen X. And while we're at it, there are some other signs too that you're probably not like Gen X. If you have never been to a skating rink, probably not like Gen X. If you have no idea what it means to call dibs on the front seat, probably not like Gen X. If you think any water that isn't bottled, even that out of a water hose, will make you sick, probably not like Gen X. If you have never used or heard the expression suck it up, and if you've never had to wait for photos to be developed at a store, probably not like Gen X. If you haven't used a rotary phone and you think hanging up a phone is a metaphor, or you don't know what rabbit ears have to do with television, probably not like Gen X. If you've never had to blow into a video game cartridge to make it work, or you think The Goonies is an illness and believe The Breakfast Club is just a meal special, not a classic movie, probably not like Gen X. If you don't know who Sebastian Bach is, think mixtapes are only something that you find on Spotify playlist, and the outfield is just a position you play in baseball, and especially this one, if you don't know whose number 8675309 is, probably not like Gen X. And if you've never seen this green screen when the TV broadcast ends for the day, probably not like Gen X. So, what do you think, my fellow Gen Xers? What do you think about all these people who say they identify as Gen X? Do we let them? Is there a cutoff like 1982, 1983? Do we grandfather in those older millennials? And what about our adult kids? Do we let them claim the title? Let me know in the comments what you think. And let me know what other signs I didn't include that might rule someone out from being like Gen X. Anyway, hope you have a great weekend. Thanks again for all the support.
She's kind of a baddie for 1971, isn't she? Guys, it's an interesting thing, and yeah, I'm 83. I'm a Zennial. All right, so people born between 1977 and 1983 fall into what is called the Zennial category. We're basically right between Gen X and the millennials. And I'm happy and I'm proud. I'm absolutely proud. I went to school with Gen X. I worked only with Gen Xers. And I mean, that was my childhood. I grew up with only Gen Xers, and I'm proud of that. I'm absolutely proud of that. And I look at this generation right now, the Gen Z, and you realize that these people are just, it's hard to even be around these people. Gen Z doesn't have an identity. They're basically trying to copy everyone else at this point, and they don't really know what the hell they want to do. Anything that Gen Z tries to create from itself is absolutely terrible. Like Gen Z's like, we don't like emojis. We don't like emojis. Or they don't even know what the hell they like and what they don't like. These people are so strange. They just want to sleep, eat, drink, fart, get tatted up, smoke, vape, smoke weed. I mean, play games, don't work, get laid, and then do it all again the next day. I mean, they're perfect for prison. They're perfect for prison. Prison would be wonderful for these good for nothings. Three hots and a cot. That's all they really need. And then these people think that they're going to be the ones who save society. They're going to be the ones who lead society. Like Gen Z doesn't want to do anything, and this idiot stuff about artificial intelligence coming along and taking all the jobs is foolish. The jobs that it's going to take are the lower end jobs. Okay, just like when the computer came out first in like the 1970s, and a lot of things became automated very very quickly. This is just an extension of that, where a lot of things will just become automated out. All right, but it'll be human beings still working alongside computers. But a lot of jobs will disappear. Engineering jobs are not going to so much go away as you're going to have to be an engineer that could use artificial intelligence. And a lot of the jobs that can be automated that engineers currently do, they will simply be automated out. It's like people who do data entry, and those jobs are now vanishing. It's very similar to that. You have a lot of data entry engineers, the equivalent of data entry engineers that are basically using old systems and doing maintenance on stuff like this, and those jobs are going to go away. It's not so much that people won't know how to code anymore. More so, you're going to have to know how to do a lot of prompt engineering. So not only are you going to have to know how to code, but you're going to have to understand how to interact with the interface after the code has been written. It's another layer. It's just like one layer, and it's kind of like how we went from doing writing binary. So that's basically binary is basically assembly language. It's 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 0. So basically, we have assembly, and then that's the basis of computer language. And then on top of that, we have other languages like C++ and C sharp and so forth. And I think of AI, generative AI. It's basically just another layer. Prompt engineering, learning how to, it's a lot of it's data science, learning how to speak to a machine yet again. It's just another way of speaking to a machine. I kind of think of it almost like Visual Basic, you know, and that's kind of the reality. But Gen X is plotting the silent takeover. The boomers, they won't be able to hold on forever. They're trying to, but they won't be able to hold on forever. You know, you've got you've got some Gen Xers still looking like baddies out here, and it's like it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just being real. Like Gen Z seems to think they're going to replace Gen X. Gen X is not going to happen. Gen Z is weak. These are weak people. They're passing away faster than any other generation in history. They won't be around much longer. I said it. I've said it already. A lot of Gen Xers won't see Gen Xers. A lot of Gen Zers, they won't see 30. You know, they won't see 30. They are passing away faster than every other generation over the last 100 years. And it's maybe even 200 years. The only reason why we say 100 is because we don't have data going back more than 100 years. We can only trace people going back that were born in 1928. We don't have any data from people back, going back before that, because a lot of those people are now gone. That's the that's just the reality that we live in right now. You know, the millennials can't keep up. A lot of millennials, you know, they went through a lot and they were also raised kind of weepy. So a lot of them won't be able to keep up with what's coming, the hardships that are coming. Yeah, you have Gen Xers saying that, Gen Zers saying that, you know, I'm mean, but it's really kindness, the best kind of kindness, reality. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, you want even more of this content, consider checking out my Men Walking Away channel. There's a link to in the description of the video. You know, if you want, you know, I release daily videos on the Men Walking Away channel. So if you want even more content like the content on the Angry Guy channel, go ahead and check out Men Walking Away. It's linked in the description. Check it out, subscribe, and enjoy the content. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Gen X is plotting a silent takeover. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.